New Pokemon Snap is the latest spin-off in the Pokemon franchise. The original Pokemon Snap, on the Nintendo 64, released just short of 22 years of this remake for the Nintendo Switch. And to be honest, I never played the original Pokemon Snap. I decided not to watch any gameplay or reviews of the original, or even play the original before doing this review. I would guess most reviewers of New Pokemon Snap are from people who played the original. I haven't watched anyone else's review of this game, so I could very well be wrong. With that being said, I have decided to provide in this review a blind perspective of the Pokemon Snap games as a whole. I will be breaking down my review into 3 sections: story, presentation and performance, and gameplay. Let's begin. It took me about 10 hours to finish the main story of New Pokemon Snap. I can already tell before and after the credits, there's a lot more to this game for me to explore. You have challenges, the Pokedex, different scenery at the same locations. For something as simple as taking pictures of Pokemon, they sure give you a lot to do. More so than I would have ever thought for a game like this. The main core story follows your usual silent protagonist exploring the Lental region. To me, it kind of resembles more of a Sevi Island style map than a typical region. You're also joined by a few characters who will intervene between explorations you go on: Professor Mirror, Rita, Phil, and Todd Snap. Professor Mirror does what every other professor does in their games respectively: research Pokemon who live within the region. He's inspired by the works of Captain Vince, who did a massive survey 100 years prior to the events of New Pokemon Snap. You participate in his survey by traveling various terrains of the Lental region, and are encouraged to take photos of Pokemon in rare moments. Rita is Mirror's assistant, and provides you tips throughout your explorations. Phil serves as a rival to you in this game, and to be quite honest, I really didn't even notice. Todd Snap is a professional photographer from the Kanto region, and he's also here to help with Mirror's survey. You travel in this hovercraft-like device called the Neo 1, around the Lental region, so you can safely take pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitat. You are slowly introduced to different mechanics as you travel through each area to help you capture those rare moments on camera. Your focus is just not on the Pokemon, however. While you travel these various terrains with different environments, you'll find these glowing crystal-like blossoms called Crystalblooms. Depending on the area, it will glow a different color. Once you get some pictures of glowing Crystalblooms, you'll gain access to Illumina orbs in that section of Lental. This too will change color depending on your environment. You can also use these orbs to make Pokemon pose in unique ways they wouldn't otherwise, get them to move out of your way in some cases, and sometimes they just sit there and glow. Using these orbs on subjects you snap pictures of will exert energy the professor needs for his research, therefore giving you a better score and rating of your photos. With enough requirements met in each area of Lental, you can encounter Illumina Pokemon at Illumina spots. These are special Pokemon whose photos only count if you use the Illumina orbs to make them glow. These provide amazing photography opportunities for the player. There are 6 Illumina Pokemon for the main story: Meganium, Milotic, Volcarona, Wishiwashi, Steelix, and Xerneas. Each encounter provides a challenge to the player in which they must illuminate the Pokemon enough to capture at least one photo. Sometimes the player will have to get rid of obstacles in their way first, wait for them to re-emerge from underwater, throw Fluffruit to lure out subjects, or simply just predict where they go next. Come on, why is this so, come on, there we go. After this is done with Xerneas, the player rolls credits with a montage of their best captures throughout their journey. It's a very simple Pokemon-style storyline, with a really cheesy ending, but it's kinda cute nonetheless. The graphics in both handheld mode and on the TV screen are stunning for a Pokemon game. Every environment pops with color, whether it's day or night. There's a lovely trail and field, luscious jungles, refreshing beaches, deep blue oceans, freezing mountains, scalding volcanoes, and dark mysterious caves, all to explore. This is easily the best looking Pokemon game in this aspect to date, from lighting, to detail, and animations. The Pokemon also behave appropriately to how you'd expect them to, and it really spices things up when looking for that opportunity to get a nice shot. One of my personal favorite moments like this in the game is an out-of-way cave where you can find these strange portals along the wall, then suddenly Gengar comes out to frighten some Carbink. Another great moment is finding out these shovels laying around the coastline are actually Sandyghasts. While the graphics of the game are great, the soundtrack is kinda forgettable. There haven't been many moments where I found myself humming along like I do in most other Pokemon games. That's not to say the music is bad. For instance, this area selection screen for the Lental region does give me some Colosseum vibes. The soundtrack overall just doesn't really click with me. It also seemed pretty lackluster in the volcano and the ocean areas of the game. I will say the music for Illumina Pokemon is really energizing and motivating. Overall, however, it serves its basic purpose and is certainly better than Silence. Lastly, performance-wise, the game runs at a nice 60 frames per second with slight frame drops every now and then in both handheld mode and on the TV. You have two different default settings for your controls, and you can even customize your controls with 3 or more presets. I stuck to the second default setting, obviously, because it would be such a missed opportunity not to use R1 for taking pictures. It feels surprisingly satisfying, especially nailing those rare moment shots. The rest of the face buttons are used for mechanics I mentioned earlier in the story section. X is for your sonar scanner, which will identify Pokemon and objects of interest. The A button will throw fluffruit, at the Pokemon. You can either try feeding them for a different pose, or even throw it at them literally for a different pose. But don't do that, that's kinda mean. The Y button is for a music tone that will play, and it could help you wake sleeping Pokemon. And unfortunately, it only seems to play one song. It kinda gets old after a bit. A lot of the times the B button, which will throw your Illumina balls, wake up Pokemon anyway. Not always though. Otherwise, the Illumina balls are really for getting the Pokemon into different poses, and sometimes will even perform moves of some kind. The game introduces these mechanics each to you in a way to where it's easy to understand what's happening, and so it's not too overwhelming. Once you get used to balancing each mechanic, it gets really fun and challenging to take pictures. Going back to those strange portals in that away cave, you could just focus your shot on those until Gengar comes out, but you may miss the Joltik climbing on the wall behind you. So some pre-planning and strategy can also be used in this game in a way to where it can add replay value to your replay value. You may completely miss something you can get a shot of in the next run, and as you keep replaying the same areas day and night, you level them up. And as you level up, the more new Pokemon there are for you to find. I haven't talked a lot about the challenges I mentioned at the beginning of the video, so let's discuss that briefly. These challenges can be issued by Professor Mirror, Rita, Phil, and Todd respectively. These are treated sort of like side missions, where the other characters will have you capture rare moments on camera, in exchange for a reward in rare cases, but these challenges just seem to mainly help you fill out your 3 to 4 star capture moments in your photo decks. This should go without saying, and I'm sorry to overstate, but this also adds a lot of replay value. Some of the extra content includes photo editing, with various filters, drawings, and clip art, and even posting your best creations, or even plain photos, online for the whole world to see. You can post your own, create your own captions, rate other players' best moments from their adventures as well, and the community can get really creative and funny with it. New Pokemon Snap is a welcome addition to my Pokemon Spinoff collection. In a way, it makes me a little upset I never really knew of the original Pokemon Snap growing up, until much later. After I didn't have a Nintendo 64. One might think a Pokemon game with the lack of battling would make for a bad idea. However, instead of Pokeballs and trainers, it turns out all you need is your camera and to appreciate nature a little bit more. If you really enjoy the battling or competitive aspect of this franchise, you may want to pass on this one. But this is different enough to keep me and others entertained for quite a long time. I'm your host CityYourDedge, signing off, and I give this game an 8.5 out of 10.